Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about something I think we've all felt. Managing money. It can feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel, right? Running and running but never really getting anywhere. We're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how you can actually start to win the game.
So let's get right into it. Have you ever had that feeling where your money just seems to disappear? I mean, one minute your paycheck is in your account, you pay the rent, the bills, the important stuff, and then poof, you're looking at your balance thinking, where did it all go? It's like you're working so hard, but you're not actually getting ahead.
Well, here's the thing. The sources we've looked at say you're not crazy. It's not just about what you're buying. The real problem is way deeper. We're talking about these hidden psychological patterns that are running in the background, kind of like a computer virus, silently sabotaging all your best efforts to get your finances in order.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the obvious culprits. I'm talking about those little, everyday money traps that seem totally harmless on their own, but they all add up. The best way to think about it is like a leaky faucet. One little drip, who cares? But you let that go for a week, a month, a year, you've got a serious flood on your hands.
And here are some of the biggest culprits, these sneaky little expenses that just work away in the background. You know what I'm talking about. Those subscriptions you totally forgot you had, the hidden bank fees that just nibble away at your account, the extra you pay for getting food delivered, and oh yeah, that gym membership you were so sure you were going to use every single day.
Now get this, the scale of these leaks is, well, it's just mind-blowing. Let's just take bank fees, for example. In just 1 year, people in the US paid over $11 billion in bank fees. Billion, with a B. That's a staggering amount of money just vanishing on stuff like ATM charges or not keeping enough money in your account.
Or what about that gym membership? You know the one. Well, it turns out a whopping 60% of them go completely unused after just a few months. But that monthly payment? Oh, it keeps coming out of your account like clockwork.
And this next one, this one really hits home. Did you know that the average American family throws away about 25% of the food and drinks they buy? A quarter of it. For a lot of families, that's like taking over $2,000 in cash every year and just tossing it right into the garbage can.
And all this leads to one of the sneakiest traps out there, lifestyle inflation. It's so human, we all do it. Your income goes up, and somehow, so does your spending. That raise you got, suddenly it's paying for a nicer car, a bigger place, more expensive dinners out. Your wants have a funny way of turning into needs.
Let's look at a super clear example of how this works. When you're making a more modest salary, it's pretty easy to tell the difference between what you need and what you want. But then, you get a nice bump in pay, and suddenly that wants list just explodes. That entire raise gets eaten up. So you're not actually building wealth, you're just building a more expensive cage for yourself, staying stuck right where you were.
Okay, so if we all kind of know these things are traps, why on earth do we keep falling for them? Why can't we just stop? Well, the answer isn't that you need more willpower or another fancy budgeting app. Nope. The real reason goes much, much deeper. It's literally about how your brain is wired. And that brings us to this idea of an invisible force that's pulling all the strings behind the scenes. It's called your money script. Think of it like this hidden programming that's been running your entire financial life since you were a kid, and chances are you don't even know it's there.
So what is a money script? It's basically the core story you believe about money deep down in your gut. It was probably written when you were a little kid, just by watching how your family handled money, or maybe through some big emotional event. And the crazy part is these scripts run on autopilot, controlling how you act with money today. Here's a really common one. More money will make me happy. If you believe that, you might end up working yourself to the bone, always chasing that next paycheck, that next promotion, but you never actually feel like you've made it. It's a recipe for burnout, not happiness.
Or how about the flip side? Rich people are greedy, but poor people are good. Someone who believes this might actually, without even realizing it, sabotage their own success. They might turn down a promotion or never ask for a raise because deep down, they have this feeling that being wealthy is, well, wrong.
There's this one story from our research that really shows you how these scripts get burned into our brains. So, picture this little girl. Her dad tells her to save half her allowance every week. And she does. She's so proud, watching her little savings pile grow and grow. But then, one day, she goes to check on her money, and it's all gone. Her dad took it. And when she asked him why, all he said was, "It was my money after all." Can you even imagine how crushing that would be for a kid?
So what's the script that got written in her head that day? Something like, there's no point in saving, someone will just take it from me. So fast forward to her being an adult. Do you think she's going to be a good saver? Probably not. And it's not because she's bad with money. It's because her subconscious is still trying to protect that little girl from getting hurt like that ever again.
Okay, so here's the really critical part. This isn't just about stories from your childhood. This is about your actual brain chemistry. It's about how we're all hardwired to react under stress, especially when it comes to money. It's like there's a constant battle going on right inside your head.
We basically have two different minds competing for control. You've got your emotional mind. Think of it as fast, impulsive, and all about instinct. It wants to feel good right now and avoid anything that feels bad. Then you have your rational mind. This one is slow, careful, and logical. It's the part that thinks about the long term.
And here's where it all goes wrong. When we feel stressed out or scared, maybe you get a bill that's way bigger than you expected, that fast emotional mind just takes over. It completely hijacks the system. Your rational mind is still there, but it's like it's been shoved into a corner, just watching helplessly while you do something impulsive, like go on a huge online shopping spree to make yourself feel better for a minute.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. And just understanding all this stuff, the traps, the psychology, that's a huge step forward. But, knowing isn't doing. So now let's talk about the solution. Let's look at the actual practical steps you can take to get back in the driver's seat.
The path forward is actually a pretty clear 3-step process. First is awareness. You've got to figure out what your own personal money scripts are. Second is rationality. That means learning to hit the pause button when you feel that emotional trigger, so your logical brain has a chance to catch up. And third, of course, is action. This is where you build new habits and systems that actually work for you, not against you.
And a huge part of that action step is throwing out the old-school restrictive budget and replacing it with something called a conscious spending plan. This is not about depriving yourself. It's about telling your money where to go. So maybe 50–60% goes to your fixed costs, 10% to investing, another chunk to savings. But here's the magic part. You set aside a healthy 20–35% just for guilt-free spending. Money you can spend on anything you want, no questions asked.
And as you start doing all this, please remember this one thing. This is not about being perfect. It's about making progress. The goal isn't to be better than your neighbor or that person on Instagram. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Every little step forward is a huge victory. So that brings us right to the end. You've got the map now, you know about the leaks, you know about the hidden scripts in your head, and you know the steps to take back control. So the only question left is, what's the one money trap you're going to tackle first? The next move is all yours. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and click on the bell icon to turn on notifications.